It's homecoming weekend. We're at Geneva College with Coach Gino DeMarco. So some fireworks tonight, 9:15 or so. Great night for that. Parade tomorrow, and then Grove City coming up as well. Let's just talk a little football before we talk about this incredible campus and this wonderful weekend and how people will be coming from all over the country. Another lead, opening drive last week, St. Vincent, you end up losing. Since that win against Allegheny, it's about maintaining inconsistency, Coach. So let's talk about the journey. Go ahead, please.
Well, we've been inconsistent. That's the one thing that's been consistent. What happened last week? We got up on St. Vincent, had an opportunity to score again, didn't take advantage of great field position, give them all the credit. They came back. In a college football game, it's so long. I mean, we're talking about 60-minute game. Going up on 2 scores with somebody these days and the type of offenses that people run is nothing. So we did not handle the ball well. We did some things that were uncharacteristic of us offensively, and I believe that those things are very correctable. I was very impressed the way our defense played in the second half, not allowing them to score anything. Anytime you shut anybody out in a half of football in college, it's a good thing. But we played some very, very good football teams. And the only thing that I can tell you is the best thing is that you prep for another game, you prep for another opportunity to show how much you've improved. So we've got some work that we've got to do this weekend.
All right. Grove City, anything real quick on them?
Yeah, they're very good. They've done an excellent job of building that program over the years. They're getting students from some very good high schools. They got a solid scheme offensively and defensively. They've beaten 4 of the top teams in the league. I think one of the things that I see with their scheme, they're a very aggressive defense. With the triple option, it's tough to be an aggressive defense. But they have done a really good job of scoring points. Their offense is like a machine. I think the thing that I'm looking forward to, and as coaches that we're looking forward to, and as players, all of us are looking forward to, is we need to go play a complete game, and we need to play only one team. So we can't beat ourselves by playing us and another team. So we have to play a clean game. We can't put the ball on the carpet. We got to be able to maintain drives, and that's football in a nutshell.
Well, there'll be a nice crowd here tomorrow throughout the day, and actually with the fireworks tonight, and the campus, the administration. Let's just talk homecoming. It's such a special time, and the weather, the sun is shining. Couldn't be better, at least for now. This is a wonderful, wonderful weekend to come to Geneva.
Well, fall's just is a wonderful time, and especially, whether you're talking about homecoming at high school or homecoming at the college level, it gives an opportunity for people to reunite. Relationships are very important, especially the ones that you forge during those ages, in college in particular. And you get an opportunity to see people that have been gone for 5 years or 15 or 35 or whatever it is. They tell me that homecoming here is an awesome thing. I believe it. I see the crowds. I see the people. I've never been able to participate in one in a long, long time. So I think tomorrow will be a great, great day.
Just your tenure, it's been a while, but just some of the things along the way that you just cherish every time you come on this campus. Look, I'm nowhere near here as much as you, but I can tell you this, just like today and every other opportunity that I have to pull in the parking lot and make my way down here to the field house, it's just some of the best times of my life. I love this place. It's the tranquility of it and the success stories and just seeing the smiling faces of the students and the faculty members and the people who work here. It just really makes me feel great, and I'm sure you have the same sentiment, but you've seen a whole lot more than me. But just that journey from homecoming to homecoming, maybe not celebrating in the festivities, but being on the sidelines with your football team and the day-to-day stuff that you go through.
Yeah, we had a group of guys that came back from the teams in the 90s last week, and I think one of the players' wives said it best. They hadn't been on campus since 97, 98, 99, whatever, and couldn't believe how beautiful the campus is and the transformation that the campus is taking place. I think that's a testament to administration and their planning and what they've done over the years. I think the thing that still ignites me on a daily basis is the passion that God's given me, that I know this is what I'm called to do. Sometimes a passion runs too deep, but just coming here and getting into this field house and seeing the coaches and seeing the players that I'm responsible for, to me that's even better than the fantastic facilities that we have, is seeing those kids and seeing our coaches.
It's always a good time, isn't it? Last thing, Friday Night Lights, and you're always on Saturdays. Do you still kind of pay attention to what's happening in high school football? You got Elwood City hosting your alma mater, my alma mater, New Brighton tonight. Just some thoughts about Friday Night Lights, and of course KDK, the Allegheny Health Network Sports Medicine Friday Night Game of the Week. We've got Gateway and Penn Trafford tonight, and Don Hall of Gateway and John Ruan of Penn Trafford will join me on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Greg Diolis and I, right after local news at 11 on Sunday. Just some thoughts about Friday night high school football.
Well, I think in Western Pennsylvania and Eastern Ohio and this part of the country, high school football is a huge thing, and football in general is a huge thing. Just the tradition, the time, the way that the school comes together. I like to see more of it. I'm starting to see fragments of it happen because of whatever. Maybe it's because of just some schools are smaller, but you always remember those times. And whether it's the band, being part of the band, or being part of the cheering section, or being part of the football team, it was just school. And that's where a lot of the pride of what we would talk about in high school originated from. And if the football guys were guys that worked hard and played hard and did it the right way, it was going to be a good school year for the administrators.
Now I have to ask you, because it's big news in these parts. Terry Francona.
Yeah.
They call him Tito. We call him T. His father was always Tito'd us. He decides he's done in Cleveland. Going to have a little shoulder replacement surgery, a hernia replacement, a fix that we've all gone through in our life, and maybe someday he might come back. But for now, it looks like this future Hall of Famer is done. Talk about him as a high school athlete. You were there along the way.
Yeah, Terry is a phenomenal athlete. One of the best, if you will, the sweetest swing that you'd ever see as far as his ability to hit the ball, baseball. Goes out to golf, wins the golf championship. Is a basketball player with an incredible shot. Everything that he did. But the one thing about T is he just overtrained so much and did so much with his body that he'd run himself into the ground, and I think that's continued. He manages, and he managed with everything that he had. And I've really followed him this last year because, concerned about his health, we all are. Mm-hmm. And he has won the hearts of the people in Cleveland. I mean, it is without question. T is one of the most respected managers in Major League Baseball.
No doubt.
But in the city of Cleveland, T is a big deal. And the reason he's a big deal, and he said it in his last press conference, Cleveland reminds him of being here. It's Midwest, and it's family oriented, and that's his values that he learned when he grew up in New Brighton, is what he used in managing and getting the most out of his players. His players love playing for him. And I just wish him the best. I'm glad that Cleveland's going to use him in some capacity. But, it was bittersweet seeing those press conferences, Rob. It really was, because, we wanted him to win another World Series because, like all of us said, every time T won something, we had a huge celebration in the town of New Brighton.
Absolutely.
And we were due for another one, so.
And let me just say, now his father, Tito, played in Cleveland, actually came close, needed a few more at bats to win the batting title. But he was a good football player, played with former television anchor Ray Tannehill, the late Ed Moldovan. They actually got to the Whitfield Championship game.
Twice.
So I got to ask you,
What would he have been?
Yeah, you think Terry could have played football?
Oh, there's no question he could have played football. I think he could have been a wide receiver in today's game. Just the fluidity he had, the eye-hand coordination. But yeah, we often talk about that. And I'll say this, his father was a great man in town, and he encouraged all of us in what we were doing, whatever it was. I mean, his dad, Mr. Francona made everybody feel personal, and I think that's where T got that from. But I had an opportunity when I was young. That T's grandfather pastored our church at Christian Assembly, which is now Life Family, where Sam is.
Right.
Sam's pastor. And Terry's grandfather, as a pastor, was a guy who worked in the mill and then pastored the church. And he had the greatest approach and the greatest rapport with people. I mean, he absolutely made you feel that he was there for you, and he was so genuine. So that has been passed down. It was passed down to his dad, Tito, and it's been passed down to T. And that very thing has made him so successful. Plus, he's addicted to baseball. He really is. He's a baseball, and but that human element of how he managed his whole entire life, we can see where it came from.
Well, and here's the thing about Terry Francona you have to look at. For those of you who may not know him as well as people like Gino, he overcame so much, but everything he really did, he always did it incredibly well. And he goes off and wins the College World Series.
Yes.
Golden Spikes winner. I mean, the guy's like the guy. And then he gets into the bigs with Montreal, blows out one knee. And this is long before the whole arthroscopic, incredible sports medicine we have today. Leading the league again in hitting, blows out the other knee. And he ends up having a good major league career, but make no mistake about it, could have been, should have been, if he doesn't get injured, who knows, could have been a Hall of Fame career. But the other thing is, instead of getting discouraged, he takes a leap of faith, gets an opportunity to manage, actually had Michael Jordan in Double-A baseball.
Right.
Went to Philadelphia, that didn't work out. Went to Boston, gets them back, and he breaks the curse of Babe Ruth, the Bambino, because they traded him away to the Yankees. They thought they could never win it again. He not only wins it once, he wins it twice. And then he goes on to Cleveland, and other than the Yankees and Dodgers, even though they didn't win a World Series, no other team in Major League Baseball over the last 10 years has won as many games as him. So the guy's an overachiever. He gets it done.
Well, I mean, he's just had exceptional talent. He's overcome a lot of adversity. I think I learned something from T in what he said. I mean, when you talked about that injury as a player, and he had an injury when he was a senior.
And that kind of dropped him, right, as far as the draft.
And when he was a senior in high school, he had overcome an injury. But the thing that really just, I guess from manager to coach or coach to coach or whatever, that really, really hit me,
Right.
is he said he never looked back. Like he never looked back on what could have been as far as his playing career or those things that happened, like his stint in Philadelphia, got into, let's face it, when he was with the Phillies, it was a bad situation, all right, but he's going to make the best of it. It's just his attitude, his persona, that whole idea of looking that tomorrow is going to be better than today, that really, I believe, stemmed from the heart of his grandfather and through his dad.
He talked one time about how he could come out of his front door up on Mercer Road, thumb down to practice, somebody would pick him up, and he came home the same way. He said, "You can't do that anywhere in America but New Brighton."
No, that's right. And there's so many other guys in New Brighton that are so close to T. I'm not as close to him as the other guys are, but I got to tell you, when he came to Pittsburgh the last time, and we had a group of us up there.
He talks to everyone.
He talked to everybody, and he was so happy. His smile and the way he looked in, it really encouraged me. I thought he's going to have another run, but you know what? He knows, and he knows what's going to be happening. And whatever he does and whatever they ask him to do, he'll be the hit of the town. There's no question.
Can you imagine if the Pirates would have ever hired him?
Well, that's the one thing that I'm like.
I know. We all can dream.
We can all dream.
Listen,
they would have moved the ballpark to New Brighton.
But listen, or you'd have had the Brighton hot dog shop up there.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the stadium.
It might be the
selling
Brighton
hot dogs.
hot field.
Right. Listen, I think you should have a Terry Francona night here one night at Geneva College.
No, I think the guys are trying to maybe do something, and
I hope so.
yeah, it would be a big thing.
Good guy, as you are.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you for letting me bother you today.
Oh, no.
I know it's
No,
late for the big game.
I know, but it's an honor to be affiliated with Geneva College.
So Tony Gutierrez is now the head coach of New Brighton. He runs the recreation league. And Terry's dad, Tito, did that.
Oh, he sure did.
So I'll leave you with one story. Field of Dreams, we've all seen it, right? Kevin Costner gets that opportunity to play catch with his dad. One day when I was a young reporter at the local radio station, I went down there to do something with him, and we actually played catch. But I think it was with a football. But that was such a surreal moment because as much as I love T's Terry. but Tito was Tito.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, to be there, someone who was not an athlete, but actually could get the ball from point A to point B, looking at Tito Francona on the other end of receiving that ball, that was a monumental moment in my life. Tito Francona, a legend.
Yeah, absolutely.
The father, as is the son. Hey, we got much more the rest of today, so stay with your Pratte Pack. We're on the road for a Football Friday. And don't forget those Coons Quality Food Sports Reports Saturday, Sunday morning, beginning bright and early at 5:15 a.m. and every half hour up until 7:45 a.m. And we talk everything that's sports on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show at 11. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Matt. Well,
Hey, listen,
it was
I got to
important.
tell you, no, that was very important.